Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
In the game, and he always does his job, so it's hard to punish him. And as we know, like, the grabs are very important objectives, and usually they are decided by the bot lane that is winning. Like, if you are winning bot lane, you get to swap and get the first grabs, then your jungler usually gets ahead, and because of that I think they are getting the early game leads because of their bot lane playing well.
And that's something that we've seen Team Liquid still very comfortable with early this split as well. They get LYON and Core JJ up to that top side for that grub spawn pretty much like clockwork, so we'll see if LYON are able to maintain them in that bot side or answer them in kind, as we have our first couple of bans come through here before our first pick. It's Team Liquid on the blue side, banning away the Vi, Yone, and Gwen. And then a lot of bot lane focus here for LYON, so maybe they're also trying to get Henna an advantageous 2v2 situation going on if they have faith in him to carry.
Yeah, I think playing against Varus Kalista, the matchups are kind of like set. There is not much to outplay because those champs are just very strong in lane. So he wants to get the matchup where he can just outplay enemy bot lane, I would say. So he's probably going to look for something like MF against Jhin and something like that. I think those champions, the matchup is more skilled because there is more skill impression in the 1v1. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But they gave up Impact Rumble, which is very strong on this patch, and it's Impact main champ.
Yeah, I think it's his best carry champ for sure. So yeah. I do think it is a good pick for them. It is going to be the Xin Zhao coming through from Audi. It'll be interesting to see where Licorice wants to go, because I do think Licorice is one of those top laners that likes to play a lot of kind of random stuff. And maybe could try to find something that is a bit of a counter in a 1v1. There's always potential for Aurora top, but we are expecting, of course, that it is going to be Aurora mid most likely.
Most likely. And if you're looking at a champion that Saint can pop off on, I'm very excited to see the potential for this, but it's Naafiri and Talia.
What do you think about Umti on Naafiri? Because generally, like, the community-wise, people are mostly criticizing his carries, thinking that he's more of a kind of tank player. Have you seen him play this much?
Honestly, I didn't see him play Naafiri that much, but Naafiri is pretty good against champions that need to kill a target. Like Xin Zhao, Aurora are two champs that kind of go in and want to start the fight and kill one person. And I think Naafiri's strength is actually just not dying, because she's very mobile and she has W, which is becomes untargetable. And I think the champ just doesn't have that much burst, but it's really strong when people run into you.
Ryze could be pretty interesting here, because now we know it is going to be either Ryze or Aurora top. Ryze top had been kind of considered one of those things that was a counter to Rumble, so I think can be quite strong in the 1v1. So it'll be interesting to see if Licorice does go for that, and then we would just have Saint, of course, playing the Aurora mid. I would like to see it. We've been seeing a lot of Ryze so far this split, but it has been exclusively, I want to say, Ryze mid. And I think a lot of teams have been struggling to convert leads on Ryze because often it gets outranged and they're kind of having trouble in the team fights. Where's your opinion on Ryze and kind of how strong it is in the meta? Because it feels like you have to kind of take your leads and play through sides really effectively, which some teams are struggling at.
Yeah, I think Ryze is just a very strong early game champ. After his first reset, he has enough mana to keep pushing the waves. I think in the 10 minutes to 15 minutes marks, he kind of falls off because he doesn't have completed Seraphs and Roa. But the moment he completes both of these items, especially when he ticks the level, the 10th point of Road of Ages, I think that's a big power spike of Ryze where he really wants to fight.
Absolutely is. And I want to highlight what happened there in the second round of bans. More bot lane focus. Ezreal, Misfortune, Caitlyn taken off the table, and it's Corki locked in for Henna. So really pinching Yon's available champion pool. We see a lot of the hovers. Yon's showing us all of the available options right now. Let's see what he locks.
I don't know how you feel, Inspired, though. I honestly feel like a lot of the AD bans are kind of useless just because so many of the ADs fulfill a similar role. And it's like, yeah, you ban out a couple of the OPs, things like Varus and Kalista, but beyond that, I feel like they're so similar that it doesn't really accomplish that much.
Yeah, I wouldn't ban the ADCs in this case if I was LYONs. I think banning stuff like Alistar, which are really good at disengaging the comp that you already have with Xin Zhao or Aurora, I think would have more value. Like, you don't really mind enemy team having Caitlyn or MF, but you mind a lot enemy having like Poppy or Alistar to disengage the fight. So I think that's kind of a mistake on LYON's side.
And they did draft the Alistar, as you were saying. So now what do we pair with it is the next question for Team Liquid. It's the Kai'Sa 80 carry. So a lot of forward momentum when you think about Naafiri wanting to jump in, Alistar starting off the fights, and some follow-up as well from their top and mid.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear, setting up a dive comp, you can have Talia coming in behind, you have Rumble Equalizer, you have the ability to dive in with Alistar, with Naafiri, with Kai'Sa. Bard as the final pick here is a little bit interesting to me. How do you feel about Bard as a pick here? potentially against just like Talia and champions that don't have a dodge like that?
I think they decided to go for Bard because Team Liquid has a very strong teamfight comp, so I'm assuming they are gonna use the Rise power in the side lane, and Bard is just gonna be running around and trying to make a play, and he's pretty good if the teamfights never start. Like, he's a good champ if you need someone to run to side lane and make a pick. If enemies answer you in side lane, you can already run for the other side of the map and try to make a play there. He's just a very mobile champ that struggles a bit in 5v5s, but seems like they don't wanna make 5v5s happen.
I also love Bard for his ability, if you are getting caught out of position, to try and, punish your opponents. If Nefiri's jumping in, you can just ult away the Alistar, or ult away somebody else. If any one person goes in, you can also use it as a disengage tool to try and get your team into a more advantageous position. Also, sometimes a free zone is every now and then, but Team Liquid versus LYON. We're getting ready to hop into the Rift. Team Liquid trying to maintain a pretty strong start to their split, whereas LYON trying to cement their name in the top 4 conversation. Rift right around the corner. And here we are, Team Liquid take on LYON to determine if LYON can continue their undefeated streak and join FlyQuest, ending week 2 undefeated as well.
It was kind of interesting. Impact was just doing the trick I saw Adam do the other day, very briefly, but he had the glowing moat buy in base, just to have a little bit more CDR, so you can get your heat a little bit higher, spamming out Electro Harpoons, then you undo, and you buy up your Doran's Ring and pots. Not something that makes like a massive difference, but can be impactful. And it is, of course, going to be Licorice piloting the Aurora, and he is playing Electrocute Aurora. We used to see a ton of Aurora top, and even people playing like Grasp Aurora and stuff like that, but it does seem to have fallen off in top lane quite a lot.
Yeah, I think people just treat Aurora as a risky champ. Like, once you don't get ahead in the game and enemies buy a bit of HP items, your champ kind of falls off. Like, the champ is all about the burst and go in with your team, and it doesn't really scale that well. But I think if you are really good on the champ, you will always find angle to make it useful.
Yeah, you can try and find that 100-0 as well. Electrocute on LYON's, the support in that bottom lane. So Alistar notoriously not a full champion until level 2. You can't really do much with the kit.
level 3 even. Like, yeah. Alistar's early game is not really anything at all.
It is tough. And you can just get bullied by the range advantage of a Bard. So I'm excited to see if Henna and LYON's can use this to their advantage, because Inspired, to your point earlier, they actually have done a great job playing through Henna as a team.
Yeah, I mean, Bard even went for Ignite. Usually, like, when you see Bard, people just tend to go heal because you don't really have much lane pressure with Bard to kill anyway, but he decided to go Ignite, so maybe they will trade a lot and try to abuse the weak point of Kai'Sa in the early game.
So what do you think about, Impact's kind of champion pool and how he's evolved? Because there's been a lot of talk, with TL and how maybe they're not so good in Fearless because of some of these things, the limiting factors like champion pool. Last split, he played Cassante an enormous amount of times. 33 games of Cassante, next most played was Rumble. So it was always kind of him playing this frontline style and then playing 2 carry comps. This split hasn't been that as much. He's been more on carries, as we've seen the Gwen, the Jace. Obviously at first stand, they tried to do that a lot and it didn't work out as well. What's your kind of take on how TL is building their comps and maybe Impact?
I mean, honestly, I think Impact just plays meta champs. Like, Cassante was really broken that season where he had that many games on him. I think teams just did bad research of not banning the champion, especially against him. He was really good on it, and the champ was just good itself. And yeah, I think Impact as a player just likes to play meta champs. He doesn't get too crazy with the picks. Like, whatever is strong, he just decides to pick it, practice the meta matchups, and just perform.
Imagine playing on a team where your top laner just plays meta and nothing, out of the blue, right?
Sometimes get a bit boring, but like you can always
never know, right?
You can always predict what he's gonna pick. So.
Well, right now he is having the wave shoved in just slightly. Licorice has some prio up there with his jungler pathing topside, whereas Umpty's pathing towards that bottom side to try and hover LYON and Core JJ.
Yeah, it seems like not much is going to happen in the early game. Junglers are just trading crabs. Saint didn't even TP back yet. I think he's just greeding to get a bit more gold before his first reset, because he was doing pretty good on the first waves. And I think we just wait for Ryze to base and TP before some action happens.
Yeah, Team Liquid just trying to get this bot wave in. That's really all you can do as the Alistar, is look for these little trades with your Headbutt Pulverize combo. And I mean, to their credit, they were able to get past that weak stage of the Alistar in lane, and it didn't feel like they were that punished for it. I mean, CS is just fine.
Yeah, I think at this point they're just going to recall and swap to topside already. It's 4 minutes in, and the grabs are spawning in 2 minutes.
They're currently still hovering bot, so they might stick around for one more wave, but this is around that time where Team Liquid's bot lane does go for those types of plays.
They just did a fake reset. They were thinking, okay, Lions are gonna think we base and we're gonna swap, so you might as well stay in lane and try to crash the wave the moment they base. I think it's pretty smart play. They often do this type of plays, especially when it's not a cannon wave, it's just a normal wave, which is very easy to push.
And now you see Henna has to go back towards that bottom side to catch this wave. He's gonna miss most of it.
Yeah, and Kai'Sa Alistar are already on their way to top side.
All right, so we asked the question, can Lion's bot lane keep up with Team Liquid on their lane reassignments? And as of right now, LYON's will be up there on time, but Henna still has to catch that bottom wave. So we'll see how much of an impact this has for Team Liquid.
So far, I think TL bot lane is played way better in lane.
I like this gank, though, from Lions. Just some damage onto Impact, not enough for a kill.
I don't think it's gonna do anything. He's basing and tipping bot anyway, so...
ADC's already here, so it doesn't matter at all, right?
I think if he went mid and poked Talia, that would have more impact on the grabs fight, but I think this just shows the Bard position on the map, which makes TL's life way easier.
I feel like at that point, you might as well try and hard commit, throw out the Ignite, really try and find that kill. As Adilan actually could be in some trouble right here. CoreJJ linking up with Umti, pushing Adilan away from the Raptors.
And that's going to mean probably free grubs here for TL. It's very hard to approach now. You know, Licorice is also He's got to go back to base. Adilan just lost his flash, so if he walks in, it's pretty easy for Core with Flash Ignite to actually just engage on him and probably kill him off. So I don't really expect Lion to contest here too heavily, but we'll see exactly what they want to do. And Licorice is just going to TP down to bot to match Impact.
Yeah.
I mean, Zinza as a champ, your flash is very important because you're a melee champ that goes in, and when you have that flash, you know that you can go in and at least flash some of the abilities that are gonna go your way. But once you don't have it, enemy team knows it, they will just all flash on you and make sure you can't really stack your conk and deal damage in the fight, and they will just one-shot you.
And we still don't have our ultimate available either, still level 5. So if Team Liquid want to start up the grubs on spawn, which they are doing right now, it looks like no contest from Lion. So Team Liquid, the benefactors of the first rotation as well as the early grub take. And I don't even know there's a window for Adilan to fully trade for the Dragon right now. He is hovering around that bottom side, but instead it looks like he's going to go for the Raptors.
I think he should trade for the Drake, but he's deciding not to do that. But he's lucky enough that the crab spawn in the bot side of the map, so at least Umti doesn't get a free scuttle on the top side.
Good point there, as Umti will get that grub and now jumps up towards the top side. Lion's in some trouble, taking a lot of burn damage and goes down. First blood to LYON. I think CoreJJ is the one that set that up, but LYON with the damage picks up a lot of gold.
Yeah, at least Henna didn't die. Henna is just spectating his support die with full HP. And I mean, so far I really dislike this Bard gameplay. I think he picked Bard, got pushed in, then just made one roam top that didn't really impact much, and then died in 2v2. I think you expect a bit more from your Bard when you decide to lock in the champ.
Yeah, when I see Electrocute, Ignite, Bard, I definitely expect it to do a little more pressure onto the Alistar, but speaking of pressure, Alistar's taking it from Henna right now. Can just walk away, still had the flash as well.
Ooh, Kai'Sa is going for this new build with Yungtal first item, which deals a lot of AD damage, and they have AP top laner and AP mid laner, so I think it's a really good choice in this game. I think he's gonna hurt a lot.
Let's get another look at that replay here.
Yeah, I mean, not too much to talk about, honestly, as he kind of just got comboed, couldn't actually get through the magical journey, and then LYON just flashed to follow, is able to get the kill. You can see a little bit of frustration there on his face as, like you said, hasn't really been able to get too much done. You know, when you play a ranged support into Alistar and you're not getting pushed, you're not getting an advantage there, it's definitely going to be tough to really kind of have that same impact that Alistar is going to be having later on. You can see the head-to-head between Impact and Licorice career-wise. Actually, pretty close compared to kind of what I was expecting. Obviously, Licorice back on his C9 days would have been going, you know, pretty head-to-head with Impact, but did spend quite a bit of time on a lot of weaker squads, so I thought it would have been more Impact favored. This game, though, pretty close. You know, slight CS advantage for Licorice. Looks like he's just going to be building towards early Leandries, which I wasn't quite expecting with the Electrocute. I thought when he was going to go Electrocute, he might be going like more of like Ludens or something like that. But did go early Haunting guys, so I'm expecting he is just going in towards Leandries and is just going to be playing more of that kind of like pokey style.
Yeah, I think Electrocute is just for lane. Like, there is no really excellent rune for Aurora. I think it's up to the player to decide which runes he likes to play.
I used to see a lot of people do when they did these more tanky AP styles when they're going like Roa or Leandries, doing a lot of like grasp top.
Yeah, I mean, grasp is nice. You end up having more HP than you do with electrocute, but you still have electrocute in the later team fights. It might make a difference in some one-shot potential. So I think it's
yeah,
whatever.
totally makes a lot of sense. I think ever since the electrocute buffs, it's also just been a straight up strong rune, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring the conversation a little further back right now and get your thoughts on this one, Inspired. Yes, early game's gone well for Team Liquid. They've had better rotations. They got those grubs. What do you think about LYON's current position in the game? Because Saint, I mean, still just doing Rise things, kind of farming up, getting towards that spike as we have the tier stacking and we're getting close to that Rod of Ages. And Henna seems like they're in a stable position right now, just down a little bit of CS. So are you worried for LYON's in their current position, or do you think that they still have a shot here?
I think they still have a shot. I think as long as Rise is farming in a good position, I think he can still carry the game. But as I said, when you pick Bard and you kind of fall behind in lane, like you just don't have enough playmaking. So I think right now LYON's are in the position to just wait for Team Liquid to make mistake.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. And one thing I will say about Saint's position is it's such a low-range team. A lot of the Rises we've seen struggle have been playing in things like Varus and Azir, where they're going to get heavily outranged in the 5v5. You obviously have to be worried about the hard engage and getting comboed and 100 to 0. But if they don't, just because of the low-range nature of TL's comp, they're going to be stacked up, and you can get so many Q bounces through the team that a Rise can absolutely take over a game like this.
And it's going to be very hard for something like an Fury alone to really threaten the Rise, as Jan taking a big chunk of damage right there. We actually might come back to that flash from Core. Henna flashes in time to get the headbutt to push him the other direction. Now we might have a dive. Adilan comes in and we bartled the turret. Jan does not get in there. Adilan trying to get that damage in, but now he's knocked up. Has to try and jump in with the wind becomes lightning. One more auto might just have it. There we go. LYON get one. Can they get another? Core JJ in full retreat mode. Double kill. Picked up by Adilan, and that is 3 for LYON. Successful dive.
Great punish by LYON, but I'm not sure what changed in TL playstyle. They swapped on the first grabs, but the second grab spawned, and they didn't decide to swap. That's exactly what they do every time, pretty much, and they just send Rumble into the weak side, but LYON's realized they are not doing that play, so they just decided to go for a dive, because obviously when the grab spawned, jungler is gonna be on the top side of the map. They didn't want to contest them, and they decided to punish bot.
Yeah, we can see this one more time. I mean, the Bartle, I feel like Jan just kind of sidestepped it just as a natural reaction, but I feel like it actually would have been better if he just ate the Bartle with the tower, because the tower gets turned off. It doesn't get any opportunity to heat up because he didn't even actually wait. He starts the dive with it, so the tower isn't even going to be doing damage when it comes out of it, and I just think it's a great initial play here. They're able to find a lot of damage back in onto Jan, push him out. APA comes down first, but it just doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, it was very smart, dude. Like, when you see a Bartle, like, who would tank it? Like, you kind of want to dodge it, but yeah, denying the tower damage, it was for sure crucial in this fight.
And APA had a nice idea to try and answer that roam, but unfortunately not able to hit that flick. And you can see Jan also, I think, realizing it, maybe should have kept walking right instead of ducking back
It's
left.
just so against your instincts, though, to like intentionally get hit by it, but I think in that situation, it could have made a difference.
But at least Umti is able to pick up those other 3 grubs. It's gold, it's kills to LYON, it's 6 grubs to Team Liquid as 20 seconds for the next Dragon Spawn fight.
Just Rise getting accelerated, though, I always feel like it's so problematic. When a Rise gets early kills and gets the Roa completed earlier, that's going to be scaling. Obviously, the tier has been stacking up for quite some time. He's going to get to that 2-item power spike, that Inspired is talking about, that much earlier, and that's where it becomes so problematic because, yes, Rise is low range. Yes, you have that potential to get burst down if TL play it really, really well, but when you get ahead of the pace of the game, he can become so damn tanky that it's just tough.
You're talking about Team Liquid mistakes. Almost saw one right there. If Umti and Impact weren't synced up well enough, I think LYON could burst either one of them individually. But back off right now, as the Dragon still seems to be the name of the game. We're fighting for control of these waves as Team Liquid really want to invest their members here, control the vision around, and Umti just jumps over the wall. They have the control right there, so they know that this is currently not spotted.
APA is already moving, and they probably know that Licorice doesn't have a TP up, so they just want to force the Drake on this wave while Aurora is going to the base.
And that will be 3 neutral objectives picked up by Team Liquid. So that's stacking towards the feats of strength. We got the first 3 kills from LYON. It'll come down to who gets that first turret to actually earn feats of strength.
And the Rise farming very well, and he's really good against 3 topside champs of Team Liquid. I think the only champs that are good with dealing with Rise are Kai'Sa, Alistar, and as long as he keeps in mind the position of Alistar on the map, like he can really pressure the Tails in this game.
And this is how LYON picked up their wins earlier as well. They play a very patient game. They're not trying to force Team Liquid off the Dragon. They're playing around Saint's power spike, saying, okay, we're not ready to fight right now. We can give them a Dragon. It's no big deal.
I mean, I think it's a really good point, Inspired, because the only way they have to even interrupt the Realm Warp on the top side is Seismic Shove. That's it, right? So if you avoid Seismic Shove, even if they collapse on you, you're going to Realm Warp out of there every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, you beat every champion on Team Liquid side 1v1. So,
so it's a not... oh, flash from Impact.
That was a weird flash impact. Come on, you
With
have your
them in the
teammates.
bush?
You have your teammates behind. I think you just bait there.
You want them to engage on you for sure.
That was weird impact. I really.
Bard ult has an effect on players, though. You have to understand. You avoid that at all possible.
No, I fully agree. That's a position where you want to look a little bit dumb. You want to look like they're, oh crap, you caught me, you caught me. You have two people in the bush. If they hard engage there, you're probably turning that around easily because he has Equalizer, he has Flash for the subsequent play. I don't think he's really in too much risk of dying.
Well, that's 2 for 2. Lines is in their head, man. I'm telling you. This Bard player, Tempered Fate is a lethal ability, or sometimes the opposite. But right now, again, going back to where Team Liquid is in this game, they still have the ability to push through the side lanes with their grubs, take turrets fast, but it feels like there's a ticking time bomb for them. Like, I kind of want to see Team Liquid go for more aggressive plays and actually try and make some action happen, force some plays, because the later this game goes, the more I'm going to question, can they handle the Rise in the side lane? Even the Aurora in the side lane can become a problem.
I mean, the Rise in the side lane is always potentially problematic, but at the same time, I do think that TL's 5v5 is really strong, and it's not like they don't have abilities to actually start a fight or win a fight, you know. One good catch from Alistar, you know, Alistar combos someone into a Seismic Shove, someone's instantly dead all of a sudden. You have a lot of power in that team fight. So I think that TL aren't going to be too worried just yet. Yes, you do have to worry about the Rise, but as long as they're forcing plays elsewhere, and it looks like they're going to try to force on that top side. He drops Equalizer bot to clear the wave. Now they're going to try to go up top side and force a play.
And APA's just diving past everybody. Ani lands all alone for right now, but here comes Licorice. Backup has arrived. LYON gets there faster. Now Licorice trying to get the kill into APA, at least trade his life. Potentially misses the weirding and the twofold hex. APA gets out of there.
But look at the LYON position. The moment TL goes for this play, they don't even try to react. They just push mid and bot just to trade 2 towers, and they're just telling to their top jungle, guys, just figure it out. Hopefully you don't die.
Yeah, we're just getting more gold onto Saint, taking that bottom turret. They're pushing in mid as well. I imagine Hedda and Lions are going to get this one.
Yeah, they will be able to get the extra tower, but TL at least got first tower, so they do get feats of warfare there because they were able to just kind of fully commit to that. So I think it was a pretty good play from TL overall. You know, Impact obviously can't defend in the 1v2, so he just drops the Equalizer, TP's top side. They force on the other side of the map, playing away from that Rise, which was kind of the strong point there for them, and should be able to grab the Herald off the back of this, so they can even look for another tier 1 to kind of equalize the play later on.
Yeah, I mean, the Herald as well is a big pickup. I think the trade without Herald wouldn't be that excellent for them, but with Herald it's for sure very worth. And yeah, I think right now it's going to be a bit tough for Lions to give up the Drake. I think they will fight it because TL can just put Herald mid the moment it spawns. So.
And theoretically, we still have a minute 20 seconds. There's a chance that Saint's able to get full stack. Sarah's first. Now they're going in onto Impact. Another sidestep on the Temper Fate, but it puts him closer to LYON, and they will pounce. Saint picks up his second kill.
And that's a missing flash from that earlier play where he could have actually baited, which is pretty impactful now. So they are able to get that kill, going to be able to steal away some camps. Nice move with the Realm War, punishing Impact in that side lane. Umpty will be able to drop Herald and get a crash here.
That's a bit of
I don't think it's going to get them the turret.
I think so too. I think they should have saved it for the Dragon spawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting decision making from Team Liquid. They lose their bot laner. Potentially a Panic Herald play mid does not net them anything. So now if we go back, yes, that trade topside, they get the kill, they get the turret, they lose 2, but you were saying at least they got Herald, that can turn into something more. Suddenly that's looking fantastic for LYON, who are close to having the Seraphs complete for Saint here.
They are in a great position.
He just got it, yeah.
The Rise might even get Mercs before the next teamfight. He's pretty much unkillable.
Ooh. And that Rod of Ages, 4 more minutes until that's up. So that will be the next Dragon, but for right now, it's looking like they can contest. Oh, righty, LYON, 3-0 coming into this game. This was the question, can they maintain And so far, Saint and the Lions have been doing just that. Saint having a fantastic kickoff to split 2.
Yeah, Saint has been getting a lot of hype around him. You know, we were looking at this as one of the most important matchups, how APA would be able to handle Saint. He was Player of the Week last week. Obviously, you talked about him inspired as one of the key players on their team. APA on Talia, though, I always look at that as potentially his best champion even. Like, I think he's very, very comfortable on it. And both of them are trying to make plays, but Saint definitely feels like he's in a much better spot right now.
Yeah, I think Talia just fits APA's playstyle. I think he likes to push and roam, and Talia is just basically it. So I think that's why he really likes the champ, but just he didn't have many opportunities this game.
Yeah, and they didn't have an opportunity to contest that dragon either. Lion pick up their second of the game.
I will say Yon's at quite a strong point now. He has Yuntal. He already finished his collector as well. So you do have a ton of AD. You know, the evolved Q is so much damage. If you can find an isolated Q with the Acathian Rain on someone, like Inspired's talking about, you know, is a tremendous amount of burst. But that being said, you're not going to be able to get that W evolve and stuff.
Ooh, Licorice going between worlds to jump away.
Corja J is in a really funny position. He might actually surprise him here.
Yeah, Licorice, does he check the brush?
So it's definitely...
No, he's not going to check the brush. Start off with the trample. Pulverize, headbutt. Licorice knocked back into everybody. Oh! Tempered Fate onto 3, but Licorice still goes down. That was almost a successful operation from Lion, but Team Liquid get their man.
And that's a really smart play from Corja J. Like, when you don't have options in the game as a support, just go silent and come.
TP flank. They're going to look for him.
Yeah, just ult out, no?
Yeah,
it's not over. Saint now in a 1v2. Trying to roam warp out of there, and there's nothing that can cancel it. It was only APA. Yep. He was not on the screen.
Exactly, just like we're talking about. You know, if Alistar's there, which you know he's not, if APA is there, which you know he's not, there's no risk actually just dropping that realm warp. So we do see the TP come out. We see the Neferi ult get used. You proc the Archangels, that's a little bit of something, but really not much. And it's just tough when you don't have a lot of CC and lockdown for some of these really strong split pushers because you struggle to deal with them. You can overload a side lane, but you send 2 players there and he just ults away, and then they're getting something on the other side of the map. If you send 1, you lose the 1v1. So it becomes this problem where you have to either be able to send multiple members, instantly collapse and punish him, or you have to hard engage on the other side of the map and force him to come to you. So TL's going to have to be really, really decisive, which is always, I think, kind of the interesting push and pull when you're playing against a strong split pusher.
Yeah, I mean, it for sure puts a lot of pressure on the engage, and TL's engage is Corja J this game. But I do believe he played a lot of games in his career, so he's probably
I hear he's been around a bit.
Yeah, he probably feels pretty confident in the position to just engage the fight.
He did find the play on the Licorice bot side as well. So Corja J is looking to make action happen. Seems to be the catalyst for action for Team Liquid.
I mean, Licorice got surprised by a flank. Let's see if Saint will fall for the same play.
True. Will it happen twice? As right now we're setting up for this bottom side Otacon.
Oh, he might fall for it, but...
Oh! Side steps away from the seismic shove.
He would be able to face dunk both of them probably and just walk out, so it's not really a big deal.
Roa fully stacked now, just ticked over there for Saint, so he is online.
Henna taking some damage right here. His impact and Opti could look to do something crazy. Lions with the Tempered Fate, always going to be scary to fully engage onto, so Team Liquid back away, and looks like we're going to get some resets right now. APA and Corja J both heading back, so a moment to breathe, as there's really nothing to fight for.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Ryze was not pushing top for the past 2 minutes. Like, he went bot just to defend this tier 1, while there's no objectives, as you said, to play for. I think if Team Liquid would start the Otacon, I think it would be a pretty good fight for them. But instead, he was just spending his time in the bot side, catching the waves. But right now, we see he's already on his way top to start split pushing.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that was that he didn't have the Realm Warp at that point because he had just used it. So he's like, I'm just going to play safe with the team. Yep, now heading back top, he's got the cooldown back up with teleport. So if Otacon happens, he can come down. And we already have seen APA could struggle in this side lane against the full stacked Ryze.
Oh, Ryze is actually trying to get behind him. He's going to be spotted out on that Tribrush ward, but Saint wasn't showing on the wave. He was actually just sitting in that side brush and wanted to see if he could actually run behind APA and see if he could force a summoner or get a kill. But that Tribrush was warded up, so not going to be able to really find anything there. Yeah. Top lane tier 1 is getting quite low, though, and Lion are up here.
Oh, he flashes back into the Tempered Fate. Umti's going to try and buy space for his mid laner, and now it's actually Lions that could be in trouble. Umti is free firing, but APA goes down. Umti cannot find the answer kill. Lion get a kill in the jungle.
That's a tough flash. He tried to sidestep it to the right and then realized, oh crap, I can't do that, and then tried to panic and flash to the left. But if you're on the far right side, you're still flashing into that Tempered Fate. So you got to kind of commit to one side or the other. APA tries to split the difference, ends up getting caught and losing the flash, dies. They lose the tier 1. Impact will be able to trade one back on that bottom side, but definitely a costly death there for APA, and he's going to be a lot more vulnerable in these subsequent fights. And here it is. He tried to sidestep over to the right, but it was really well placed from LYON because there was no gap. It was like just right in that corridor. So APA just had to commit to going left and flashing, I think.
Yeah. As much as I said I didn't like the Bard in the early game, like he's been doing the work right after the early game.
And held flash there too. Waited for the Hound's Pursuit, then flashed over so he doesn't follow him over the wall. Yeah.
And he has his Deadman's done now. So Deadman's, Swifties, as well as the Blood Song. So it's pretty annoying when Bard is out on the map with this much move speed. You pick up the Meeps, like, look at him. He's like 500 move speed just zooming around the map. And it can be really frustrating playing through sides against it.
Okay, Rice is grouping for a team fight, but he doesn't have his level 16 and dead cap yet. So he's not like a complete demon yet. But I think if you are Team Liquid, you have to fight now.
Yeah, and we're teleporting Impact in. We throw out the Weaver's Wall. That is the line of scrimmage. Team Liquid now have 5 on the bottom side of the river, but it's all about the Dragon. Can Adi get it? Oh, it's Umpty that secures the Dragon for the team. 2-2 in that count, and LYON will just back away. No fight.
Yeah, they are at least able to get the teleport off of Impact, but good smite there from Umpty, is able to grab the Dragon. That's pretty critical to keep LYON off of Soul Point. And LYON's still hanging around here, I guess worried about a potential Otacon startup or maybe considering it themselves. We can see Saint moving over towards mid to try to get the push there.
Yeah, Jan has to catch that. So there is a short window where LYON have a numbers advantage, but not if they get bursted down. Audilane taking a lot of damage as the Tempered Fate once again will land. Umpty trying to dash away. Saint Realm Warps in and a shutdown for Henna. LYON now with a numbers advantage around the Otacon, but can they get Saint out of there? He was cut off for the rest of the team. Shut down for Jan. Licorice trying to be the hero now as he goes between worlds looking for the damage on the back line. Can't find it. LYON in retreat. Team Liquid now the ones looking to hunt. Flash onto APA. He's caught away for the rest of the team. What is going on? It's just mid laners getting caught out left and right.
Both teams just punishing mispositioning there. Saint kind of got caught in between two sides of his team. He was kind of in the middle, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to insta-flash the wall. He didn't use it, and then by the time he doesn't, he gets comboed. He just gets full 100 to 0. Then APA is split up from the rest of his team. They use the Bard portal to re-engage back on him. Here it is one more time, as it was Audilane walking in, but they can't get the full 100 to 0 play. He gets up that ulti, and then they're able to actually look for an engage here out of it.
Yeah, it was a pretty weird engage. Like, they just walked blindly into the Tri-Brush, but in the end, it did work out. I think as Rice, you kind of have to burn your flash here, and I think he really didn't want to do that, but it ended up costing him his life.
I think that was tough for Saint because they lost vision of the Tri-Brush. So there was a control ward in there, and he didn't have a teammate, and he didn't know how close the threats were in that moment.
It was a weird fight. I'm not really sure why Rise is just not split pushing and just getting his death cap and just trying to get top tier 2 and ulting out when the enemies actually collapse on him. But yeah, if he didn't die, maybe they would actually get Atakan after killing Umpty, so...
This is something that we've seen from a number of the Rise games where I think they start feeling that pressure to group. They're like, oh, what if my team gets caught? What if my team gets caught? And they start really kind of grouping even when they have an advantage in side lanes. They're not really able to extend it in the way that you would want. He is level 16 now, still obviously sitting on those 2 large rods, so should be able to complete that pretty soon. But I will also say, clever from Audi as they were retreating back towards the tower. All APA can see is them running back towards the tower, but then he turns back and gets in that side brush. So as he's pushing forward, didn't actually look from his vision like he would be in a lot of danger. So good angle for a turn, and then of course Bard is able to portal the rest of the squad in to get that kill and make sure it doesn't get out of hand.
And another reset from Saint still didn't pick up the death cap. So we actually have a couple more minutes here where Team Liquid won't have to worry about the
He needs like 100 gold basically. So
okay, close.
So one wave pretty much, and he'll be able to go back and grab that. And there's no easy objective to be taken here from TL, so I think he should be able to have the death cap before there's a major fight.
Yeah, again, he decides to group. I'm not really sure if that's the play.
It just seems like a little bit of nervousness, of worrying about, your 4-man squad getting engaged on or getting caught out in a side lane. But I agree. I mean, he can't be answered in sides. It's just one of these things that I think, sometimes is difficult in pro play for people to have that confidence to play through sides, and we do see this pretty consistently.
I just want to say he went back. You said he needed about 100 gold. He ran over towards Raptors. Adi took them. He ran over there to clear a ward. Henna takes the ward. Just give Saint his gold, man. All right, he got the top wave. I think he's
he has the combined gold now, so he just gets 1 wave and he will be back to base.
But Licorice does have to go between worlds, jumps through it, but right into the waiting arms of Umpty as Team Liquid find a pick in the side lane.
Yeah, good pick from TL. It's also going to be in the mid lane tier 1, and they could even maybe threaten Otacon. We can see that 2 members are already down there. Umpty is going to be starting this up. Have to be careful you don't take too much damage from the Otacon, as things can go bad. Yeah. But I don't think it's really going to be able to be contested.
Do they even know?
They do not know, and it's only Saint in the area. Yeah, I think this is going to be an uncontested Otacon picked up for Team Liquid. We see multiple members of LYON looking at APA. He's going to Weaver's Wall early just to get out of there. He saw Lions from the control ward. So no side lane play for LYON, and that is Otacon for Team Liquid.
I mean, it also means probably the free Drake for Team Liquid, because you don't really want to fight the team with Otacon revive buff. So that's it's a pretty big free kill, I guess, against Aurora. You kill her, you get 2 big objectives, which will for sure help a lot in order to win the game.
I also feel like the GA Otacon in general isn't that strong anymore, but when you get it in a delayed game like this, the value goes up so much, because you can even threaten around Baron, you can threaten around, you know, a lot more of these kind of important objectives, moving to Soul Point that you already mentioned, so it's easier for them to kind of get something done. At least Saint, though, does have his death cap completed. You can see Henna's on 3 items now. We decided to go for the shield bow, so a little bit more of kind of that defensive build, which I think makes sense against a team that is such heavy dive.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts, Inspired, on Team Liquid's option here, because yes, they could go for that Dragon. Actually, they are right on it, as I say it. I actually like the idea of the Baron, because even if you get up the Dragon, it's not Soul for LYON. It would only be Soul Point for them. Right now, instead, Adi looking at APA in that side lane, and this time he does not have the Weaver's Wall, so taken down into that revive from the Otacon.
I mean, if I would be TR, I would just take the Drake. I think it's a safe option and just wait for Kai'Sa to get her IE. And then once you have Kai'Sa with IE with 4 items, I do think you just engage on any target and it's gonna be a decent fight for you. So I think Lions are kind of on a timer to just pull it while Kai'Sa doesn't have IE.
Interesting to see how that script can flip throughout a game. Saint is scary, but so is LYON, and LYON was the benefactor of the early kills from Team Liquid. They had a fantastic bot lane start as Adilan jumping onto Umpty. They're taking a 1v1, but Saint is much closer than the rest of Team Liquid, and now he gets headbutted away from the Realm Warp. Knocked out, Tempered Fate misses onto all members of Team Liquid, so couple swings, couple misses from both sides.
I'm a bit confused why Correge didn't just combo him. He wanted to double him to cancel the Rise Ult, but if you combo him there, he might actually just die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he was thinking he had to headbutt him out of the Rise Ult, but just NECC interrupts it.
Yeah.
So I feel like he got confused there, because that's what it looked like to me as well, is that because it's not like he even mistimed his combo, he just didn't use the Q.
Yeah, he just didn't want to use it. He just wanted to stop the Rise Ult, but I think the Rise was just trolling there a bit.
Well, either way, no one goes down from both sides, so it's just back to a fairly neutral game state. But Team Liquid, with that IE, immediately start up the Baron. LYON's going to be running at them through the mid lane to join up.
They will know, though, because that Pixel Brush had a pink, so they saw Impact walking down towards it. So LYON are immediately heading out towards this, I think.
But Correge will make sure that Audi can't get into the
pink.
I think they're just going to finish. He's just going to QW the guy.
Adilan's going to have to try and get in there. He gets into the pit, but not in time. Baron secured by Team Liquid as LYON now goes on a killing spree. Umpty jumping even further forward and Impact over the top with the equalizer. Umpty claims another life. Up at the side though, LYON finds his own solo kill onto Saint. What a play for Team Liquid.
Yeah, LYON able to solo kill the level 16 Rise with death cap.
I mean, he's level 17 Kai'Sa with 4 items as well, so...
Yeah, that isolated Q...
100% crit right now with IE. He is pretty strong.
Yeah, he is really strong. Takes down Saint, and I think that's pretty much all she wrote. They tried to get in for the steal. They lose 3 members. Now your base is going to be getting absolutely destroyed here as TL taking
Does
full
TL
control.
want to push? Do they want to keep going? There's still 20 seconds on Saint, 15 on Licorice.
They can definitely play to end, I think.
They might just go for it. They have 2 Baron-empowered cannon minions and all members up there challenging LYON to say, try and stop us. Welcome to the LTA. Welcome to the conversation of top 4. Team Liquid are looking to close this one out, but LYON can still hold 3 seconds on Saint. Diving under the turret. CoreJJ is going in there. Now Whoopty on top. Licorice goes down. That does it. Team Liquid taking the team fight. Autos on to the Nexus. They will take down LYON and claim the game.
Well, not much to say, honestly. Team Liquid just completed their items, went for a team fight, and finished the game. I think it was a decent game by them. I do think that Lions was in a winning position in